Kendo Podcast by Hiro Mafuji from Kendo-Guide.com. Thank you for listening. This podcast is about Japanese martial arts Kendo for Kendo lovers and supported by Kendo enthusiasts through patron.com. Thank you for your support, guys. Please visit Kendo-Guide.com for more Kendo information and how to support Kendo-Guide.com. Kendo Podcast Episode 8. Thank you for listening, and in this episode I would like to talk about learning multiple martial arts at the same time, especially Kendo and something else. And Sei, he is one of the supporters at patreon.com. He asked me if I could talk about learning iaido and Kendo at the same time, if they're going to help each other or what. So I would like to talk about that mainly. And I don't have any experience in Chinese martial arts, and so I'm not too sure how I can explain that, but I'm going to share my point of view. First, Iai and Kendo, they do help each other. I like use iaido to explain certain movements in Kendo, such as taito, which means to wear your sword. To wear your sword, you put your sword into your belt. But since in Kendo we don't do that, but we still use the word. Okay, so we don't put our sword in the hakama belt in Kendo because we don't usually wear belt. Some people do wear belt in Kendo as well, but usually we don't. And taito, right? And nuke to, that means draw out your sword. So that's that term is from Kendo. Kendo. That term is from samurai swordsmanship. Nuke to and osame to as well. That means osame to is specifically means it put your sword into scabbard. Of course, Kendo doesn't have scabbard, but we still apply the term, and also we do the same motion. It's really helpful because Kendo is derived from samurai swordsmanship. So, of course, it is helpful to learn both. Especially Kendo people learn Iai. And what about Iai people, or if your main martial arts is Iai, does it help if you learn Kendo? I think yes. The reason is, Kendo, in iaido, you have to imagine an opponent in front of you or around you. And when I talk about iai, I talk about seite iai. I'm not talking about koryu, classical style. So please remember that. In iai, All Japan Kendo Federation iai, seite iai, we don't have partners. So you have to imagine opponents or partners around you. And if you don't have experience things like that, it's hard to imagine how you face to your opponent. Also, it's hard to imagine how intense it is if you face and fight against your opponent. Kendo, we don't use real sword, and I don't even want to use real sword. Kendo is invented, so the bogu and shinai were invented so we don't get hurt. And we practice we can practice techniques actually hitting each other, right? So that's why Kendo equipment was invented. That's the whole point. So we don't want to get hurt. And but still, we have this intensity between us and our opponents. So that's something you cannot get from iaido, my personal perspective. So you can really get the how the feelings of fighting, and also you can learn how to really use your sword. Like people say, Kendo sensei says, Kendo's people say, treat shinai as real sword. But if you don't know how to use real sword, you can't treat it like real sword. So iaido helps you with that. So I strongly recommend to learn both. And I really like jodo as well. Jo is a long stick. I think it's shorter than bow. Bow is, it means stick. So jo is a stick, bow is a stick. I think it's a difference is length. I learned seite jodo when I was in New Zealand, and I really liked it, but I didn't have chance to learn from one sensei, so I've been practicing by myself. I can tell you that very similar. If you do kendo or iaido, it's easily you can get the hang of how to grab the jaw. And of course, different movements. If you strike with the right hand forward and left hand close to you, it's quite same as kendo and iaido, right? But jaw, you can have your left hand front and right hand close to you. That's very hard. It almost feels like I became a beginner. Of course, I'm a beginner of jodo, so it's right. But when I have, kendo-like strike in jodo, I feel good. I can stop my jaw easily. With the left hand forward, no, I can't. So I think it's new to me, so I'm really happy. And also, I can balance. Basically, kendo is all right hand forward. So it is true. It's kind of, we develop right hand muscles more. Even though we say kendo is left hand, kendo's power hand is left hand, right hands probably get bigger because of that. So it's really balance my body equal. I can use my both sides of the body equally. So that's why I like it. And also, I've been kind of applying jodo movements to kendo because it helps. I think actually I could make my students' main strike stronger and more integrated by applying jodo movements. So it's certainly connection there. I can't explain. When I have a chance, I felt when I dig more deeply, I will share a video. So probably it might work for you. I don't know yet. I'm still studying that. So I will tell you the result. But my students like it. And of course, you have to learn some jodo movements to learn to make your kendo movements better. But after like 10 minutes, 15 minutes of, just jodo-like motion, I didn't tell them that's from jodo. I just made them do it. I didn't want to have them biased by the information. So I just made them do what I think it worked, and it worked. So I will try them more. And it's also, I want to mention that the beginners strike get better too with this jodo movement. So definitely there is some connection. So if you want to know, please tell me. And by telling me, I will get encouraged to make more videos, so please do so. So I think it is different. I'm not saying they're totally the same. Of course, they're not. But since they are from samurai fighting styles, so of course they have similarities. So I like that. And they help each other, like I said. And so I think it's really good to have some kind of related martial arts. So if I do karate, I don't know how it relates to kendo. Kendo movements, modern kendo, have more straight motion, like forward and backwards. We do this a lot. But as you become advanced and as you get older, because your physical strength is deteriorated, so you really have to learn how to use your body sideways, so you can execute more techniques against the younger people. So in that sense, you can use your karate motion or some other martial arts motion like aikido as well. Aikido is also, derived from samurai martial arts. So it's related to, they have relation. So I'm sure some movements can be applied to kendo. Kendo motion probably can't be applied to many other martial arts because if you have to study long time, like I said, when you're young, it's almost forward and backwards movements because you want to train physically, so you strike more. When you strike more, naturally you have to go forward. So that's the reason. And sideways motion in kendo, when you're young, it's not much there. So it's pretty hard to apply. But, there should be connection. If you decide, okay, this is my, let's say, you're doing let's say you're doing Aikido, and Aikido is my main martial art, and I want to do Kendo to help my, Aikido. And then probably you can use Kendo movements, Kendo theories to help your Aikido. I'm sure you can do that. Since I don't do Aikido, I'm not too sure how, but I'm sure there's some connection. Again, if you can't find anything, if you think Kendo can't help your martial arts, I think that's all. And, you can just stop doing Kendo. But Kendo is very, very, like I said, very, unfortunately, you have to do certain things at the very beginning. So it's hard to see how you can apply Kendo movements to your martial arts. But if you look at Kendo, like more advanced people, they use sideways. And you can learn how they control their opponent. It's full contact, and older people are controlling younger people, and then they strike younger people. That's just amazing. So if you see these movements, probably you can learn something. So not probably directly that you can learn something out of the movements, but indirectly by watching Kendo advanced people, maybe you can learn something. So it really depends on how to use Kendo for your martial arts, I think. And then you can talk to your sensei, Kendo sensei, if you are learning Kendo and do the martial arts, you can ask your sensei about that. So, yeah, and then it's very, very important for us to know that, like I said, there are differences. So if you get frustrated because you can't learn new movements because it's different, that's you're wasting your time. Don't get frustrated. Difference is there. So if you get frustrated because they're different, you can't learn anything. Accept that they're different and then learn from the difference. So if you see it that way, it can help you a lot. Martial art is about controlling ourselves, I think. Okay, through learning Kendo, I think martial art is controlling ourselves, controlling our emotions, controlling our movements. We have to connect our mind with our body parts. Otherwise, we can't even move our fingers correctly. That's what I that's what I have found out from Kendo. You know what to do, but you just can't move your body as you should. That's very hard to do. I know that. So the process of learning martial arts is, I think, just connecting ourselves, connecting our own emotion with our body, connecting our feelings with emotion. As we have to integrate everything, what we have, body, soul, whatever you name it, we have to put them all together and then work towards achieving, let's say, one technique. So I think that's our goal. If we can't control ourselves, we can't control our enemy. So I think that's what it is. So let's relax. I'm sure martial arts can help each other. It's us who gets frustrated and who gets angry because we can't do certain things. So my answer is yes, probably. For iaido, kendo, jodo, I am sure they can help each other. I can tell you that. Kendo with other martial arts, I'm not too sure about it. But like I said, if you change your perspectives, I'm sure there's a way that Kendo can help other martial arts as well. Thank you for listening. And if you like this podcast, please leave a message or give me a like. If there's a like button, that encourages me a lot. And if you really like my work, please consider to help me financially at patreon.com/Kendo for Life. Patreon is, patreon.com. I think. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.